Hi, I'm Jessica Houseman, and I'm highly interested in y'all's clinical mental health program. I want to thank y'all so much for your time, and I'll get started with the questions. So, the qualities that I believe I possess that will make me an effective counselor is that I am compassionate, extroverted, empathetic, patient, culturally competent, and hardworking. My experience mentoring children has taught me that I work really well with children and adolescents, and I've been able to foster a trusting relationship with them. One of my strengths and one of my weaknesses at the time was compartmentalizing some of the things that they were telling me. So, the kids that I mentor come from some pretty traumatic backgrounds, and it was hard going home. And just thinking about it, and it caused me to worry a lot about them. And I knew that if I was going to worry too much, it would one interfere with my mentoring and my dream profession, which is becoming a counselor. So I knew I needed to get it together. So I started to meditate, which actually was proven very effective for me. And I worked out if I needed to as well, or I went on walks or long drives. And that actually really worked for me, and it helped me compartmentalize a lot of the things that I was stressed about from what they were telling me. And I think that my experience doing that so early on before I've even started counseling is definitely a strength. But I probably do need a little bit more guidance as I deal with different groups of people as I go through my career. But yeah. In addition, I grew up being diagnosed with learning disabilities, and it made me feel inferior in an academic environment. I did not honestly even think I was intelligent until I came to college and realized, oh, I'm actually really good at school. And I never thought I was before, just because I never applied myself. I wasn't surrounded by like people that made me feel like I should work hard, and I completely proved myself wrong while I got in college. But I do feel like because of that diagnosis and because how heavy it weighed on me and my resilience to that diagnosis, I can totally relate to people that have been diagnosed with other mental health disorders. And I feel like that experience particular can help me help them overcome some of the problems that are associated due to the stigmas. So, the personal life experiences that I've had that have led me to apply to this program stem from my childhood. I had positive and negative experiences with my childhood. We had good times, but we also had bad times. And a lot of times, my parents would fight a lot of parental discord, and my dad suffered from alcoholism, and both my parents had anxiety disorders, and I just felt a great lack of emotional security for my parents. And around 15, I developed an eating disorder. After a year, I knew I needed to go get help, so I went to see a therapist, and she single-handedly changed my life. I attribute my resilience to therapy 100%, and I want to be a positive role model for others like she was to me. And I want nothing more to help children and adolescents in that same situation where they're not coming from the best childhood and they need a little extra push to get them to the place that they should be with a positive role model. So, my professional goals and the populations I want to work with kind of stem from what I was saying earlier. So, as I was growing up without proper emotional guidance, it was difficult, and it is for other people too. So I want to alleviate that burden for children and adolescents by becoming a counselor. The experiences I had with my therapist led me to seek opportunities to mentor youth in adverse experiences. I mentor 3 children, and I'm very close to them, and I care about them so deeply, but I'm ill-equipped to give them the correct counseling they deserve. In addition, some of their testimonies after their families were notified by the CPS and they were taken to mandated counselors, they told me that they didn't feel comfortable with therapy, which is the whole reason they came to Trot, the organization I volunteer at, because it's unconventional therapy, aka why I'm a mentor and not a counselor. But we basically just try to build healthy relationships with these kids, and they were completely turned off by therapy just because they felt like a lot of the therapists were making them feel uncomfortable and making them feel guilty for what they experienced, which absolutely broke my heart. And I was able to actually foster a warm connection that allowed two of them to trust others and feel safe expressing their feelings. Still working on the third, but I'm very proud of what I've done, and I'm striving to continue doing that through my career. And so these experiences in particular have led me to want to counsel populations of children and adolescents from diverse backgrounds. So the ethics code is extremely important, and the primary responsibility of counselors is to respect the dignity and promote welfare of their clients while protecting their physical, emotional, and psychosocial well-being, and the ACA Code of Ethics helps facilitate this. The ACA's Code of Ethics are highly important to ensure a sense of trust and safety. Confidentiality is especially important because one needs to be transparent with the client to ensure that that they understand exactly what the confidentiality relationship entails without destroying a sense of trust between the client and counselor. This code also highlights how critical it is that the client works within their cultural competence boundaries in order to facilitate the best possible bond. In addition, there's a lot of emphasis on having a positive work environment. This stems from having relationships inside and outside of the work environment, as well as maintaining healthy relationships inside there. If there's any conflict, it needs to be squashed with open communication. I particularly believe this is very important because humans are social creatures. They need social bonds. If not, they have disorders or have struggle with their physical and mental health. So particularly for therapists, they need to be at their utmost potential so they can help their clients to the best degree possible. And so how I relate to others and connect with others that are different than me. So I lead with the notion that it is very important to meet people where they are at. If people have different experiences and ethnic backgrounds than me, I listen respectfully and learn from their experiences. I never try to push any of my own opinions or ideas on them because their experiences made them who they are today. However, if they are expressing harmful or disrespectful things about a marginalized group, I stand up for it. I have no tolerance for that. However, I try to counteract those harmful claims by educational resources and discussions to help expand their thinking. I've done this a lot in my DI committee at the University of Alabama for my sorority, and it works. Regardless, everyone wants to feel safe and heard and seen. So I think the most powerful thing we can do is give people a voice to talk about their experiences. When meeting people from different backgrounds, I think the best thing I can do to learn about their backgrounds is through open communication. And that's how I connect to people that are different than me. But I'm almost out of time. Thank you all so much for this opportunity. I hope you'll have a great day. Bye.